Okay. Hello, people. Happy Friday. This is low poly day 2. I go ahead and get my presentation running. If you are absent, you need to go back and watch low poly day 1 and make sure that you complete this research poster and then also complete what we're also getting ready to kind of talk about again. Okay. Both of these are due Friday, unless you are absent. So this guy due today. And this guy will be due today. Okay, let's do this. We finished up day 1 here, slowly starting to look for a subject. If you got one submitted to Schoology, great. If not, make sure you submit to Schoology. I will show you where really quick. Again, we're back out in that low poly project folder. So unit we're in today. For that submission, you need to put it in this reference image and put it into the subject choice. Okay. Reminder or refresher here that you need to pick a clear subject. So our clear subject is fruit with distinct shapes. All these have pretty good simple shapes to them. And they have good value and color. Lots of different colors with lots of different values with each object. So find a subject and submit it to Schoology. If you didn't pull out your notebook yet and you need to take some notes, that is a good idea. So go ahead and pull it out. Geometric shapes here are flat two-dimensional figures or areas closed by a boundary created by combining curves, lines, and points. So a good way to think about this are your math shapes: squares, circles, rhombuses, triangles, what have you. They are closed. They have height and width to them. They have curves, lines, and points. That is what a geometric shape is. These are all two-dimensional, okay, 2D. Within that, we can have polygons. A polygon is a shape, right? It is a geometric shape. It's flat, 2D, and again, is a figure that has a closed area. But a polygon has at least 3 straight sides. So we're now kind of cutting out the rounded portion of it, working with straight lines to build our shapes. Triangles, squares, pentagons, and they keep going up. We have regular polygons, which again kind of refer to those math shapes, and then irregular polygons. The thing to take away here is that they have straight sides, no rounded edges, so they're made up of lines. This is important because our project is low poly, right? So we are building our image with polygons, For the project, you do have to use 75% triangles, 75%, okay? The last 25% is up to you, as long as they are in fact polygons. That can be regular or they can be irregular. So you could have some pentagons in there. You could have any of these weird, whatever you want to call these, polygons, okay? If you want to do 100% triangles, that's fine by me, okay? Would still be polygons for all of it. But 75 has to be at least triangles, and then the rest is up to you, as long as it's all polygons. Why are we doing this? To create repetition and rhythm. So repetition is just the act of repeating an element. In this case, it would be that triangle we are repeating over and over and over again, which will create rhythm. Rhythm is movement within a piece of art that kind of helps it flow. So the more we repeat that triangle, the more rhythm we create, which helps the artwork flow a little bit better instead of having a hodgepodge, every section being a different sort of polygon, okay? That is why 75% of it is going to be triangles to create repetition and rhythm. How are we going to use these polygons, which are 2D and flat, to create a form? A form is 3D, or three-dimensional, and it occupies space and has volume. So how are we going to go 2D to 3D? We are going to take our polygons and repeat them to create the illusion of a form. So with our trees over here, they are all made out of polygons. The leaf portion are triangles. The bottom portion are more like rectangles. You can see that they're thinking about the shape, how that would go back into space. So they're not just lining triangles up in a straight line, right? They're kind of wrapping around the edge of these leaves. They're bending around it. They are all flat and two-dimensional, right? They're not actually bending, but we are creating the illusion of that bend, which is super important. I am going to show you how to do that in the second part of today. You're going to watch a video of how to create a form. Here's what you need to think about. Consider what your subject would look like in real life. How would that object appear in space? So we have our cat over here. Is it rounded? Is it long? Is it angled? None of our subjects that we are picking are truly flat. The image you're sourcing for them are flat, but in real life, if they were there in front of you, whatever it is, a boat, a car, a cat, is not flat. They all occupy space and are three-dimensional. So if you look at the cat over here, they've started to do a pretty good job thinking about the cat's face, kind of how it bends back into space, but then we lose the body. They've just started to slap triangles on there. We don't know what's going on over here. Is it the arm? Is it the leg? We're not sure. We don't want this to happen with your project, which is why we need to start thinking about how would your object curve back, angle back into space, okay? Before we do the demo, you do need to print an image of your subject. Please, please, please print it on the color crappy printer, the color crappy printer. So if it says photo, do not print it, okay? You need to make sure to switch it over to the color printer. Try to scale up your image as big as possible. You can put it on a Word document if needed. So go ahead and get that guy printed out to follow along with this demo that we're getting ready to do, and scale it up. So my example image is a cat. In the video, it's going to be something a little bit different. Just make sure you print one image of your subject, one large image. When we get ready to do the demo together, you are thinking about tracing your subject in a couple of steps here. So go ahead and grab a Sharpie and then get your subject printed, or you can do it after this video. What we need to do is we need to break our subject down into some steps here. We're going to look at breaking it down into shapes, into its form, and then into low poly. That way we're not just slapping triangles on there. We're going to kind of pick out what's important about our subject and then transform it into low poly. So we're looking at shapes, then the form, then low poly here. And you can see I start doing that over here. I break it up into some of the main shapes. I think about the form and then add the low poly. So go ahead, print that image, get out your Sharpie. I'm going to have you watch that next demo. You will have to submit a photo of your completed practice to Schoology. So make sure you watch that video and you follow along and complete that practice. Okay, and we're not going to go over this yet. Need to escape. Oh no. Okay. Go ahead and print, get out your Sharpie, and watch that next video.